Hello guys on YouTube. Today on the 42nd C++ tutorial, this is Anirudh here, and in this tutorial and the upcoming few tutorials I'm going to be teaching you about more of inheritance. So as you know, in inheritance you can inherit members from a different class. Well, now today in this tutorial I'm going to be teaching you about modes of inheritance. So let us first create a class. Let me call this base class. So this will contain some variables which are private, such as int a and b, along with a base constructor int x and int y, which will set x equal to a and y equal to, what did I write there, a equal to x I should write, and b equal to y. This makes more sense. Then some public variables, public int c equal to 1 and int d equal to 2. Okay, so this is our base class, and class derived will be the class which will inherit from the base class. That is, we will write public base. So now it is inheriting from base class, but there are some important things that you will learn later on. Public, I made a mistake here, that you should always make a constructor public. Remember that, because if you make a constructor private, then when you call the create an object, and as you know, a constructor is automatically called when an object is created, and the constructor will not be called properly. So essentially you should never make a constructor private, because then the object will not be created and it will give an error. Okay, so I create a derived constructor. This will also, now another thing that I will be teaching you in this is int p and int q. So this is a very, well, what can I say, important thing which you will learn. You will not understand this whatever I'll write right now, base p comma q. You will absolutely not understand whatever I've written. It's perfectly normal. I'll explain it to you as we go along. And what is the body of this class? C out, C handle, C out, D. I did C out again. There we go. This is what the constructor will do. And well, I think that we should now start writing our main. So we create an object of base d and pass in the values 3 and 4. Okay, and we create, I think we should, to make it clearer to you, I should write here C out A and L B and L. There we go. Here also I should add the end L. There we go. So I pass in the value 3 and 4 and derived d. I again pass 3 and 4 to the constructor here. Okay, so let's see what happens. No, or I think you should just pause the video a bit, rewind it, and see what I've written. Write it down on a copy yourself and think what will happen. Just think what this may mean. You may be able to guess it, but anyway, I'm running the program and seeing if I have errors. Well, let's see, 3 4 3 4 1 2. Brilliant, just as I had expected. Did you expect the same thing? 3 4 3 4 1 2. Did you? So let us run through the process again. So we created a base class constructor b3 and 4. This jumps over to here, this constructor sets a equal to 3, b equal to 4, and outputs 3 and 4 just as here. Okay, but then here we create the object of derived, which inherits from base class. So it inherits c and d, and thus it will output 1 and 2. Okay, but wait, what happened here? 3 and 4, why? Well, the answer lies in this special line here. We created the derived constructor with two parameters p and q, but remember what I've written here. It is a colon and the constructor of the class from which it is inheriting. In this, the values p and q are being passed to the base constructor as x and y, and essentially a equal to p and b equal to q. This is what is happening. So instead of passing 3 and 4 to the constructor of derived, it passes it indirectly to the base constructor, and thus it outputs 3 and 4. But wait, why at all will it output 3 and 4? Because it is an constructor of the base class, while we are first calling the constructor of the derived class. Well, the answer lies that whenever a class which has inherited from another class is whose object is created, then the constructor of the base class is first called. Just you may get confused by this statement, but let us think of a building. Where do you start building the building from? Do you build it from the top to down, that is from the 100th floor to the basement, or do you build it from the basement to the top? Well, the answer of course is you build it from the basement to the top. Similarly, for in C++ programming, the constructor of the base class is first called, and then the constructor of the derived class is called next. This is what exactly they are called. So this code should seem self-explanatory to you if you have written it down, or anyway. So after this, it calls 3 and 4. It prints out 3 and 4, and then 1 and 2 as here, C out C and D. So I hope you've learned something from this, because in the next tutorial I am going to continue this program and show you some more nice things about inheritance that you did not know earlier. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and stay tuned.